This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
The legacy of Ringling Brothers will exist in that it has infused all other live entertainment.
In May, the greatest show on earth will give its final performance. Feld Entertainment is cutting the act because of high production costs and declining ticket sales. This follows the company's decision to remove elephants from the shows. So what will happen to all those animals? What happens to the performers? And what happens to the circus as we know it? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on the demise of the greatest show on earth coming up, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. The tension between the Manatee County School District and its teachers over contract negotiations is increasing. Another round begins next week, and now educators are taking action to make sure their voices are heard. Instead of going on strike, some teachers are taking part in a series of walk-ins. They are asking for salary increases and larger contributions towards health insurance premiums for employees. The district says it simply doesn't have the money.
I know a lot of teachers that have second jobs as professional people with degrees and certifications and all of these testing things that we have to do to be teachers. We should be treated like the professionals we are.
An administrative hearing on the labor issues and contracts will be held next week. A county-wide walk-in will be held on January 25th. Florida Supreme Court is preserving the state's largest private school voucher program. Today, the court dismissed a lawsuit the state's largest teacher union filed against the program, serving nearly 100,000 students. The program primarily serves low-income families. Justices did not explain why. The Atlanta Braves are now in exclusive conversations with the county of Sarasota to move spring training to Northport, but not everyone is happy about the news. In just 2 years, these empty fields in the West Villages could be training facilities, practice fields, and a 7,500-seat stadium. But some worry Northport taxpayers could foot some of the bill.
Yeah, that's the best thing that will happen to Northport. I mean, everybody going to get some kind of piece of action, you know. Braves are a world-recognized brand, and certainly to argue that that wouldn't bring attention to Northport's not fair.
City taxes went up when the Rangers had spring training in Northport. No word from city commissioners if there will be an increase if the Braves come to town. Meanwhile, spring training games on the Suncoast are only a month away. Call it the Battle of the Suncoast. The Baltimore Orioles will take on the Pittsburgh Pirates at McKechnie Field in Bradenton on Saturday, February 25th. Tickets for that game are on sale now. Individual tickets for all 17 of the Orioles spring training games at Ed Smith Stadium will go on sale this Saturday. Now to Ellington, where the cleanup crews and environmental authorities are monitoring a 12,000-gallon spill of raw sewage. A contractor hit an 8-inch pipe at the corner of 60th Avenue East and US 301 yesterday morning. While crews have finished cleaning up the mess, water samples will be taken over the coming days. For all who hate the doctor's office and don't mind a lack of the personal touch, Governor Rick Scott has a suggestion: Skype. Last year, Scott signed legislation to create the Florida Telehealth Advisory Council. The council is working this week to explore ways to increase the use of the practice. Proponents say it will help patients in underserved communities while saving money.
Instead of having the patient come to the office, every single time that something seems to be awry, or not even that, just for daily monitoring, that can be done from the comfort of their home.
Telehealth could not only serve rural and low-income residents, it could also allow those who are frail or in nursing homes to have routine checkups. We love the Florida lifestyle. We hate the bugs and mosquitoes, especially in the age of Zika. So check this out. Sarasota County is giving away free mosquito fish that can eat the mosquito larvae. The county actually breeds and raises them. Folks can pick up some and release them into man-made water bodies like abandoned swimming pools and ditches and artificial ponds. The fish hopefully will get rid of the bug problem.
They reproduce very fast, so if you put a dozen of them, 2 dozen in a very small water body, they'll, as long as there's water, they'll live in it, they'll keep having babies, and they'll sustain a population that'll eat mosquito larvae forever.
If you want to pick some up, mosquito fish, call Sarasota County first so they can get them ready for you. Bob, did you have any idea?
I didn't really. I tell you, it's a great idea. And you know what? The temperatures have been so warm that a lot of the mosquito activity has been increased because of the warm temperatures. We need some cold spells to kind of bring them down a little bit as far as that goes. 68 degrees right now. It's still pretty warm. Dew point at 63, and the humidity 84%. We have a west-southwest wind at 3, and the pressure 3014. And that's still pretty high. And the forecast through this evening looking pretty good, 63 by 11 o'clock. And it looks as though we will see some inland fog forming. There is a system to the west of us, not going to have much of a chance of developing into anything that would cause us to see some showers. But eventually down the road, there will be another system that will pop up over Texas that will bring us a pretty good chance for some rain and some storms later on this weekend. We'll talk more about that later. The forecast for the wind, not all that strong. With the clear skies and light wind, we may see some fog, and it could be rather thick in the inland areas. Quickly burning off, though, and temperatures will warm again tomorrow into the upper 70s, near 80 degrees. But there is some cooler air on the way. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
And trouble this weekend.
That's right.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, the home of the circus. Ringling Brothers shaped the Suncoast as we know it, but now the big top will come down for the last time for the greatest show on earth. How is our circus community reacting to the story when we come back?
Man, he used to hang out with us.
Yeah, and then he just stopped.
I hope he's gonna be okay.
1 in 5 of us has a mental health condition, but emotional pain can be hard to spot and harder to talk about. Learn the 5 signs of emotional suffering. If you see 1 or more signs in someone you care about, reach out, connect, and offer to help.
Megan, come sit with us.
Visit changedirection.org.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
As a combat veteran, I support Goodwill because they help our veterans reintegrate back into the civilian workforce, and they create jobs in our community.
It may be January, but we live in Florida. So head outdoors for seafood and music at the 2nd Annual Sarasota Seafood and Music Festival, happening Saturday and Sunday, January 21st and 22nd from 10 to 6 p.m. Savor mouth-watering Florida Gulf Coast seafood dishes by top restaurants and chefs, while you enjoy great live music from some of Florida's top musical groups. So grab your family and friends at the Sarasota Seafood and Music Festival, January 21st and 22nd. For more information, visit seafoodfestivals.com.
It was stunning news when the story broke late Saturday, but it was not a shock. Soon, the greatest show on earth will be no more. No more elephant acts. Declining ticket sales contributed to the demise of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. We still love to see the smiles on the faces of our children as they marvel at the wonderment of it all. But as Kate Flexter reports, times have changed, and so have our sensibilities when it comes to acts that include animals.
John Ringling's legacy can be felt all around town, from the Ringling Bridge to the Ringling Museum to this circus ring of fame. And for that reason, many locally were devastated by the news. If you're wondering what happened to Ringling's elephants, here they are at the Center for Elephant Conservation in Polk City, home to more than a dozen elephants, all retired circus stars. Last year, we brought you to the conservation when the greatest show on earth retired its iconic elephants, following accusations of animal cruelty from activists, including multiple lawsuits. Many say that was the final blow to the famous Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus.
Welcome to the greatest show!
For more than a century, though, the circus went by the self-proclaimed title, The Greatest Show on Earth, and few disputed it was true.
There was no show to work for like Ringling Brothers, because it truly is the greatest show on earth.
That made the news of the show shutting down all the more surprising for people like Aaron Watkins, who toured with the circus as a clown for about 5 years.
I was shocked. I think everyone I know was shocked. Once you get to 145 years old, you think, oh, okay, it's going to be around forever.
Parent company Feld Entertainment made the announcement Monday, attributing the decision to a sharp decline in ticket sales, which dropped even more when the company retired the elephants. People for the ethical treatment of animals took to Twitter to declare victory.
The percentage drop was much more severe than what we anticipated.
That decline, along with the high operating cost, made it an unsustainable business model. The company now helping its more than 400 circus employees find new jobs and searching for suitable homes for the more than 100 circus animals. But for more than a century, the circus thrived, putting the small coastal town of Sarasota on the map thanks to John Ringling, making Sarasota the circus capital. Downtown's Main Street was even featured in the 1950s movie, The Greatest Show on Earth.
So what kind of a role did the circus play in shaping Sarasota?
I think Sarasota and the circus and Ringling just grew up together.
The Ringling Museum circus curator Deborah Walk says the circus was in many ways an education, bringing the exotic, the never-before-seen to small-town America.
You didn't have to go to a large town. You didn't have to go to any other country. The circus brought you the world to your doorstep.
But over the years, the crowds became smaller. And while the decline was gradual, the news of it closing was anything but.
It was certainly a surprise. I was shocked.
World-renowned daredevil Nick Wallenda was equally as saddened by the news. John Ringling was responsible for bringing his family to America from Havana, Cuba in 1927.
You know, there's a lot of sentiment there for sure, and they are an American icon.
Wallenda comes from a long line of circus performers dating back more than 200 years and says it's an art form that's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Went through the recession, the Great Depression, the circus just kept going on. It's one of the oldest forms of entertainment for sure, and people are fascinated with what we do.
The key, Wallenda says, is adapting to the times, keeping circus modern and relevant.
My goal is to create a show that will tour around the United States that will incorporate YouTube sensations. You know, these people that have 50 and 60 million views, those are the people that need to headline the show alongside of me.
So will we see another greatest show on earth? It depends on who you ask.
You'll never be able to afford to get that many creative people together again to match the grandeur of the greatest show on earth. And that doesn't mean that circus is dead, but the great American circus, probably this is the death blow to it.
We always say the show must go on in our industry, and that's a fact. My family has done this for over 200 years, and I have no intentions of stopping anytime soon. And if anything, what's happening with Ringling Brothers encourages me and inspires me to go out and do greater things so that I can carry on that legacy that my family started a couple hundred years ago.
If you're interested in checking out one of John Ringling's greatest legacies, it'll be in Tampa next week for that final tour. In Sarasota, Kate Flexter, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
So what is the future of the circus? Is there a place in our lives to laugh and be entertained by daring acts and clowns that make our kids smile? Coming up, we speak to some of the most famous names and faces in the circus industry. In a moment, we take it to the trapezoid.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us. Just go do it. Go do it.
If you're not in control, then who is? Live above the influence.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Start the year off with a great deal during the Start Something New event going on now at Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Sarasota. Ram trucks are built tough and have plenty of power to handle any job with all the comfort you'd expect in a luxury vehicle. And right now, all 2016 quad cabs are over 20% off, with new Ram trucks starting at just $19,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Sarasota.
Welcome back. Before we discuss the future of the circus, let's take a look back. The greatest show on earth began in 1882, founded by 5 of the 7 Ringling Brothers. In 1907, it was acquired by P.T. Barnum and James Bailey. The post-war prosperity of the 1950s was not shared by the circus, and a final touring performance took place in 1956. Then, in 1967, the Feld brothers purchased the company for $8 million, but just this week, Feld Entertainment announced it would end the show in May. Joining us for more on Ringling's demise and the future of the circus is Pedro Reyes, a founder and CEO of the Circus Arts Conservatory, Dolly Jacobs, Associate Director of the Conservatory, and she is also one of the most decorated performers in the world, and Bello Knock, the ultimate daredevil extraordinary. And I've always wanted to meet you.
All right, thank you.
Why don't we start by asking the obvious question. Saturday night when the news broke, were you shocked, and what was your emotions? Bello, let's start with you.
Extremely sad. It's sad when it sets in. If initially you're sad, mad, angry, you're everything. For me, the shock was, it's amazing that that was the only answer. The question. That's what it was like. What?
We'll get to that more. Dolly?
Well, it was very sad, and what made it more sad was because we just came from the Ring of Fame on St. Armand's Circle, which is honoring the great artists that are present and some of the past. One of my idols, Rogana, was inducted. And so I was on a high. I take great pride in my heritage, our heritage. Yeah. And so it was a wonderful day to celebrate the great artists of the past.
And your name is on the ring yourself.
Henry Ringling North.
Actually, that's pretty funny. We're sitting, you know, I've thought about this. We're 3 people who have plaques on the Ring of Fame, and probably, very uniquely, the only 3 people that have worked for Ringling Brothers and the Big Apple Circus.
Pedro, I mean, was the writing on the wall? I mean, we're all shocked when certain things happen, but there's a difference between shock and surprise.
Well, there were a lot of rumors floating around that there was some of the rumors were they were going to shut down one unit and continue with the other. And I guess what the family did, they decided and made a business decision. Ultimately, it's about making money. And if you don't have the ticket revenue or ticket sales, I mean, the family needs to make a decision.
Do any one of you believe that if they consolidated the units to one, they could have hung on?
You know, they've been trying. Even in the package, you said they had seen steady decline in ticket sales over the past 10 years. They made a conscious decision 10 years ago to go down a certain avenue, and then the last thing that really took us was when they got rid of the elephants. But that was the end of it. That was the last drop off. It was already at going down a steady.
The decline. Do you connect the decline to the controversy over the elephants and the animals, or something else?
It was, obviously it's a factor, but here's what I'm going to say. Tell me if I hope this is it's not popular, but if you set out to make a cake and one by one you remove the ingredients, certain ingredients, after a while you go, this one's not really, self-rising flour and that. After a while, if you take away, after a while you don't have the contents to make that. So if they consolidated it, here's what I can say. The Felds are very smart people. They're very passionate people. They're business savvy people. They're very passionate people. They have a tremendous amount of other brands that are family entertainment.
And making money. But what were the other elements that were removed over the last decade that contributed to the demise?
Well, you know, first of all, they performed in arenas. Arenas are not like a big top. You go into a big top, it's very magical. It's extremely magical. People that walk into our show for the very first time walk in and you can see them say, wow, this is amazing, awesome. You walk into arena, you're still in arena. So the show content, whatever the show is, it needs to be a wow factor, 1,000 plus, okay? And like Bella was saying, if you start cutting back and, you know, economically kind of stripping things.
I will say that the first time I saw the Ringling Circus was at Madison Square Garden in New York. It was a magical event, but it was big.
What year was that?
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
Way back? Yeah.
No, it was magical, but...
Exactly.
All right, why don't we take just a quick break? We are just getting started. More of the discussion of the Ringling Circus and the future of the industry coming up, along with a check on our forecast. Back in a moment.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. If you're sticking to your New Year's resolutions, you could be eating healthier and exercising more, but still may not be losing weight. Tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll show you what may be the cause of it and how you can fix it. John?
Well, we've still got our eye on weekend weather, possibility of strong storms. We'll talk about it.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Ideologue. I am an originalist.
Get the new year off to a great start with safety and peace of mind. Subaru was named the 2016 Best Overall Brand, Most Trusted, and Best Performance Brand by Kelley Blue Book. And ALG named Subaru its top mainstream brand for residual value for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
We'll have more on the closing of the Ringling Brothers Circus coming up, but first let's get a check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, the string of warm days continue right now. Beautiful sunset, looking at the Van Wezel webcam over Sarasota Bay. Flat, calm conditions out there on the bay and some high cirrus clouds coming in from the west, indicating there is a storm system over Texas and Louisiana. Beautiful, though, shot right there you see as, again, the moisture content in the atmosphere is still pretty low at the surface, and this looks like rain, but it's not. It's actually from military exercises going on in the Gulf of Mexico, releasing some chaff, and that creates this echoes that you see right there and kind of disrupt the radar picture, and they're practicing that out in the Gulf of Mexico. This is legitimate shower activity occurring now through Texas into Louisiana. These are some pretty big storms here. In fact, one cell in particular did produce a Doppler-indicated tornado just about an hour and a half ago in Louisiana. 68 degrees right now. Dew point is at 63. We have clear skies, and with the light winds and clear skies and temperatures falling down near the dew point, we can expect some fog forming. That'll be the only real issue tomorrow morning. That should burn off rather quickly. 77 the high today, well above the average of 71, the record high 84 degrees. No rainfall to report. We could use a little bit. We're below average, but we are going to get some Sunday night and into Monday morning. Some of those could be rather strong too, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as we get closer to the weekend. We'll have a better handle as to whether those storms may become severe. 67 in Jacksonville right now, a bit warmer in Orlando and Key West, both at 74, 75 in Miami, and temperatures around town right near the water into the upper 60s there, and 69 in Venice, Englewood at 69, 71 at Mayaca City, and Bradenton at 69 degrees, Cortez at 68. And the Gulf water temperature actually has warmed up a few degrees due to the warm temperatures over the past several days, now at 67 degrees. Thursday's forecast looks very similar to what we had today. High temperatures will top out upper 70s, lots of sunshine, just a few clouds now and again moving on through. The fog in the morning will burn off rather quickly. Now, this storm system that's moving through the lower Mississippi Valley is not going to have a big impact on our weather, but there will be another area of low pressure which will develop on Friday late and Saturday, which will sweep that cold front our way. The big story has been out west, where they've been hammered with storm after storm. More rain from Los Angeles all the way up through San Francisco and into Seattle. Some heavy rainfall moving through there. But for us, for boaters, calm conditions out there again tomorrow. Mostly smooth on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature, as I mentioned, into the upper 60s right now. Low tide upcoming 12:17. The high tide will be at 5:15. And sunset, we had it at 6:01, be similar tomorrow. Mostly fair, some fog late, 58 for a low. And then for tomorrow, partly cloudy skies after the fog burns off, highs in the upper 70s. The extended forecast does call for a good chance for showers and storms, mainly late Sunday and Sunday night. So it's not going to be a washout on Sunday, but we will see cooler weather move in on Monday and Tuesday. Alan will be right back after this. Stick around.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500, starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing Feld Entertainment's decision to end the Ringling Brothers Circus and what the future holds for the industry. Our guests tonight are Pedro Reyes and Dolly Jacobs of the Circus Arts Conservatory and daredevil performer Bello Knock. How did you folks view the issue of the elephants and the other animals and the controversy over the last couple of years? Because, especially with the elephants, they were such a crucial part of the circus experience.
Obviously, it's a big factor, right? I mean, removing elephants from the circus. I don't give this as a win to PETA at all. It was a sad moment, but sure. Elephants were a huge part of it, just like many others.
What about their essential point and how they went about it?
How they went about removing them? I was on Ringling for 14 years, and I never saw any abuse. So it's really hard, and it's hurtful because I was there and I saw it day in and day out. And
here are two major facts. Neither one of us have ever owned elephants. We don't have skin in the game. But if we had ever seen abuse, we would have been the first one to sound the alarm. We would have been the first people to say, stop that. Now, here's the next thing. I believe they were criticized, they were challenged, Feld organization and circus, about abuse. They were found not guilty. So they were false accusations. I think what really happened is they felt it's still a business, it's show business. They looked at probably at each other and said, are we going to do this all over again? But they won all the lawsuits. They were never found guilty for any malpractice, mistreatment, anything.
But there's a cost-benefit calculation that goes into anything.
Sure.
And they calculated, even though they won an award, that it was probably counterproductive to continue having the elephants.
Well, it's very stressful, very frustrating, and to be attacked all the time, to have these PETA people chain themselves onto the fences, and it's ridiculous.
So the question is, where do we go from here? Because the essential point is so many millions of people have been entertained over the years. Every parent takes their child to the circus. And as I said in the setup piece, the wonderment that you see in their eyes, circus won't go away, but is it a business model that in some fashion can still earn money?
Okay. Well, I mean, I can speak for that. We're in our 20th year, and we are very successful. We sell out almost every single seat, and we have about a 68% return audience. So we must be doing something right.
Then what's the difference in your business model in compared to Feld?
Let me quote a circus performer. They said, as a circus performer, I found out something. I'm a great circus performer. And when it comes to business, I'm a great circus performer. So let's make something clear. Ringling Brothers is a circus. They are not the circus.
Yeah, but they are, in some, I mean, their moniker, the greatest show on earth.
Absolutely, absolutely. But there are other circuses. There are over 200 circuses in Italy. There are over 300 circuses in Germany. Circuses around the world are doing well. Now, not all of them, and even some with elephants are doing very well, other circuses. There are other circuses that don't have animals, and they're hurting. So it's not about just an animal issue. It is... Sometimes it's, when a person plays bullseye, they don't hit the bullseye all the time.
Nick Walinda said the other day that the industry has to evolve, and he suggested the use of technology. I want to get your thoughts on that because, I mean, people see Circus du Soleil. I mean, it was big for many years, especially in Vegas and their traveling shows. Is that what he's talking about in terms of the future?
Well, he owns a circus. I produce shows. We hire and provide a lot of shows around the world. Let's make sure everyone knows what they're talking about. Cirque du Soleil is a big impact. Everyone loves it. Is still just the French word for circus. Even them, as a giant conglomerate and a giant show, they're feeling the pain too. They don't have elephants. They never. But they're not. They're not out of the woods. There's a lot more challenges in life. There's a lot more options in life, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, again, electronics, right? Just the iPhone, whatever it is. I mean, Instagram, Facebook. We use those as a tool to attract audiences, but at the same time, it's one of the challenges. So you overcome that challenge. And to me, the most important thing about any performance you produce is quality. Wow factor. Right. You've got to wow the people out of their seats. They've got to walk out of that tent or big top arena, whatever it is, and go, oh my God, that was the best show I've ever seen. Right. That's what it's all about. And if you start cutting corners, start, you know, nickel and diming, you're going to start losing audience.
The circus and Ringling Brothers was always about the exotics, the things, 17 different acts from around the world that you'll never see. So it caused...
But the important part of that to also remember, correct me if I'm wrong, it was P.T. Barnum that brought the animals in. The animals weren't always there. So I would imagine before the animals, before the elements, it was the performers. Is that the essential part, Dahlia, of circus?
Yes, but also, you know, I remember as a little girl, before I started performing, standing on the sidelines and being awe of Rogana or whatever aerialist or big star that was the blackout and the spotlight came on, I'd get goosebumps. And you can't tell me that children today won't get goosebumps when they go to a circus and have that experience. If that experience isn't there, then they won't get it.
Would you guys agree with something? Elephants don't make or break a circus. No. People do. Does that make sense?
It does, and the thought is occurring to me, if you relate this to sports, people like going to a football game or a baseball game or a basketball game, but in some cases, especially going to these arenas, it's problematic, it's expensive, the traffic, the parking, the schlepping, and you could just go home and watch it on TV. And so the question to all of you is did circus lose some of its viewership because you could be entertained in mass media?
Years ago, the BBC television started producing television shows, and Billy Smart's circus had said it's the death of the circus. That's about 50 years ago.
Right.
50 years ago, it was the death of the circus. Right. We're still around. The circus is still going. Today, there's more interest in the circus arts with our youth than ever before. Okay. Our youth, our kids are more interested in the circus arts. When I came to America in 1984, I believe there were 3 or 4 circus schools. There are over 250 circus schools in the United States of America. Right. That tells you something.
Circus has been challenged, or it had been brought up, when the newspaper came out, it's going to be, when TV came out, color TV, movies, CGI. Now, every time it's going to be, you know what? In the break, you said, I remember the first time I went to a circus. There's something about the circus that 4 generations can laugh at the same joke, 4 generations can ooh and ah and have everlasting memories.
All right, why don't we just take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests, plus what some of our viewers are saying about plans to bring the Atlanta Braves to spring training in Northport.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our office and ask for Jackie Avina.
I am a veteran. My victory was finding the strength to be a champion.
My victory is having a job I can be proud of.
At DAV, we help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
My victory was finishing my education.
My victory was getting help to put our lives back together.
DAV provides veterans with a lifetime of support.
My victory is being there for my family.
Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. California Pizza Kitchen teaches us how to toss dough like a pro, plus Oslo Rep's new political play and Gold Roast Barbecue.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
It may be January, but we live in Florida. So head outdoors for seafood and music at the 2nd Annual Sarasota Seafood and Music Festival, happening Saturday and Sunday, January 21st and 22nd from 10 to 6 p.m. Savor mouth-watering Florida Gulf Coast seafood dishes by top restaurants and chefs, while you enjoy great live music from some of Florida's top musical groups. So grab your family and friends at the Sarasota Seafood and Music Festival, January 21st and 22nd. For more information, visit seafoodfestivals.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Welcome back. So what does the demise of the Ringling Circus mean for Sarasota, and does the future hold for circus performers and audiences? Our guests join us now for final thoughts. Pedro, you say the show goes on.
Absolutely.
How?
We continue our show. We open on February 10th. We're selling tickets. Our ticket sales are robust. We have a great show booked, and that's very important about the quality of the show. You have to book. We bring in acts from all over the world. When the audience buys a ticket, they are not disappointed. They walk out saying that was the best show I've ever seen. And that's very important. And I can say right now that the circus is thriving. It's an exciting time for the circus arts in the United States of America and around the world. And it's unfortunate that Ringling's closing its doors. They made a business decision. It's sad for Sarasota because in 1927 this was the winter quarters, and that's where it started. And thank you, Mr. Ringling, for choosing Sarasota.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Dolly, what would you say to the mom or dad out there who's watching this right now, who want to give this experience to their kids? Where do they look at this point?
Well, they still have opportunity. And as long as there's children, in the words of Red Skelton, and aren't we all, there's going to be a circus. And there's no way that because of this happening, I'm trying to be more optimistic. I believe something else will turn around, another door will open for Ringling Brothers, maybe in another name, I don't know. But the circus, as long as we have children, there's nothing to compare to live entertainment.
And Bella, I mean, is there more excitement out there coming up? What are you doing?
Yeah, sometimes you have to lose something to find it. And right now, it's like, we might have lost two very iconic things, the Big Apple Circus and the Greatest Show on Earth. I'm putting a team together and have most of the team to try to save New York's Big Apple Circus, and even do that together with, still remain friends and still, but being passionate about the circus and the inspiration and the reach that it has to people.
Okay. Thank you all very much. But before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about the exclusive negotiations between the Atlanta Braves and Sarasota County. The plan is for the Atlanta team to bring its spring training to Northport by the spring of 2019. Braves executives will address Sarasota County commissioners on Tuesday. Here's what some of our viewers are saying about the development. Jeanette Carpadona writes, "It is great to hear the Rays, the Orioles, the Pirates, and the Braves all right here. Good for us." Michael Della writes, "Silly idea. This is going to be close to the existing Rays spring training complex in North Charlotte. Apart from spring training games, the millions of dollars facilities are almost empty with the rest of the year." And Chris Lasecki writes, "The only one this kind of thing benefits are the team owners and the snowbirds. For the rest of us, it is only part of the low-paying seasonal jobs, more traffic, more accidents, and more taxpayer money, with very little coming back to the community, despite what economic development people would have you believe." Well, if you'd like to join us in the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And FYI, want to watch past roundtable discussions? They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Thanks to our guests for being here tonight. Pedro Reyes is the founder and CEO of the Circus Arts Conservatory. Dolly Jacobs is the founder and associate director of the conservatory. And Bello Knock is the ultimate Daredevil extraordinaire. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather. Plus, kidnapped at only 8 hours old, 18 years later, this Florida girl is returning home and speaking out. Find out how she is reacting to the life-changing discovery in our primetime headlines.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves in providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction, and the secret's getting out. Maybe that's why so many people have chosen to list their homes with our friendly and qualified agents. After all, it only makes sense to list with a growing agency that markets in so many places. To list your home with SWC, give us a call at our office and ask for Eric Schrock.
Why do I run? I think life's a journey. Every step brings me closer to my goal. I run to see the world, and when you're surrounded by so much beauty, how could it not take your breath away?
Join us at Robinson Preserve Friday, March 31st at 6:30 p.m. for our 9th annual Twilight 5K and 10K race. At one of the most beautiful scenic race courses in Florida. This race will leave you breathless.
How long have we been married now?
For 76 years.
He was kind and generous to me before we married, and he was kind and generous to me all these years. We decided on Meals on Wheels because I was getting to the point where I couldn't do all the things that I had been able to do. We're the Spans. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
We consider the first 60 minutes the golden hour, the time that we can do the most to affect how a patient's going to do. I think what motivates all of us is that at the other end of it, we see them, smiling and happy and going back to their families. That's our greatest satisfaction. Sarasota Memorial Hospital is just an amazing place to take care of people.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but first, let's get a check on our weather from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, thank you. A beautiful photo sent in. I want to thank you for that, too. This is Joanne Glim, and she sent this in this morning. And just look at that awesome sunrise on the Manatee River, the Riverwalk. Appreciate that photo. And you can send your photos in to our pics, PIX at mysuncoast.com, or just put them on our Facebook page, too. We can pick them off there. And as far as the high clouds are concerned, they can keep coming in from the west right now. Beautiful sunset tonight, and looks like we will see generally fair skies overnight, and that's a result of a large area of high pressure, which remains in control. There's some showers and storms moving through the lower Mississippi Valley associated with an area of low pressure. This low pressure system, again, is going to move off basically to the northeast. It's going to weaken before it reaches us. There'll be another one that will develop, though, over the weekend, which will eventually send a cold front our way and produce some showers and storms on Sunday afternoon late, and then into the evening and early morning on Monday. 68 right now. Dew point is at 63, and the high today, it managed to get to 77 degrees, well above the average of 71, and no rainfall to report so far for the month. We're about a half inch below average. Temperatures across the state, 60s and 70s, 74 in Orlando, 75 now in Miami, 74 in Key West, and 68 in Sarasota. Forecast looks like this: upper 70s right through the week, or I should say through the afternoon, and then we'll stay warm again tomorrow night. We're not looking for any cooler weather around until Monday, once the front moves through and begins to chill us out a bit. But for the rest of the U.S., things are pretty calm across the central and upper Great Lakes. It's pretty quiet there, as well as the Northeast, which was dealing with a storm yesterday. But the big story is the storm track out west. It continues to just hammer California and into Oregon and Washington with heavy rainfall and even some extreme snow conditions in the higher elevations there, the Sierra Nevada range. For us, a different story. We'll see warm temperatures here, no chance of any rainfall. There's that system kind of weakening as it gets close to us. On Friday, it will fall apart, but then another storm will develop and bring us a good chance for some showers and storms, especially late on Sunday. For boaters, seas running less than 2 feet, mostly smooth out there. Tides upcoming, the next low tide at 12:17. Mostly fair. Fog late, 58 for a low. And tomorrow, fog burning off, partly cloudy and mild. High of 78 degrees. The extended forecast, upper 70s through Sunday. Chance for showers and storms really picks up Sunday afternoon and evening. And then it turns breezy and cooler Monday and Tuesday. Alan will be right back with primetime headlines. Stick around.
Ciao, amici! It's time for Carnevale de Cani, Top Dog 2017. Benefiting Dante's Den is the Carnival of Dogs. Join us at the Francis for an evening of great food and fun as dogs compete for the title of Best Dress, Best Hair, Best Kiss, and Best Singer. Top Dog is a party for dog lovers and their four-legged best friends. Come celebrate our favorite pets at Top Dog 2017, Saturday, February 4th at 6 p.m.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Now for a look at your primetime headlines. President Obama held his last news conference today, answering a wide range of questions on many topics, among them his controversial decision to commute the sentence of Chelsea Manning. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has more.
America succeeds. Here he is.
Before taking questions, first a message for former President George H.W. Bush and Barbara Bush, both in the hospital.
We want to send our prayers and our love to them.
Then President Obama got down to business.
First of all, let's be clear. Chelsea Manning has served a tough prison sentence.
The president calling his decision appropriate, responding to Republicans slamming him for commuting the 35-year sentence of Manning, the former Army intelligence officer convicted of giving U.S. secrets to WikiLeaks.
I feel very comfortable that justice has been served.
The questions then moved on to Russia and the growing tension surrounding the transfer of power, with at least 60 Democrats now boycotting the inauguration.
I'm not going to comment on those issues. All I know is I'm going to be there. So is Michelle.
Obama is leaving office on a high note. A new ABC News Washington Post poll shows 60% of Americans approve of Obama's job performance. And on this day, he had this parting message to the nation.
I think we're going to be okay. We just have to fight for it. We have to work for it and not take it for granted. And I know that you will help us do that. Thank you very much, Press Corps. Good luck.
And in what many are calling a not-so-subtle shot at his successor, Donald Trump, President Obama told reporters to continue to ask tough questions and push those in power to get to the bottom of stories. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
As you just heard, both former President George H.W. Bush and his wife Barbara Bush are in the hospital tonight. A spokesman for President Bush says he is in ICU because of complications from pneumonia. The 92-year-old former president is now stable and resting comfortably. 91-year-old Barbara Bush is experiencing fatigue and coughing. The couple says they will be unable to attend Trump's inauguration on Friday. The Florida man accused of killing his pregnant ex-girlfriend as well as an Orlando police officer is now in custody. Markeith Lloyd is accused of murdering Sade Dixon last month. Authorities say he then gunned down Police Lieutenant Deborah Clayton as she tried to arrest him last week. Lloyd was found in Orlando last night at a home. Orlando's police chief says the officers used Clayton's handcuff on Lloyd.
Deborah Clayton risked her life for this community that she loves so dearly, and to put her handcuffs on the bad guy that she was trying to catch when she was killed is just significant.
A second officer, Norman Lewis, was killed in a motorcycle crash while on the hunt for Lloyd. Authorities say as Lloyd surrendered, he was wearing a full body armor and carrying 2 handguns. A follow-up now on the shooting at the ZombieCon festival. The city of Fort Myers has settled lawsuits with 2 men who were wounded in the shootings. Kyle Roberts and Tyree Hunter were both 20 years old when they were shot at the festival in October 2015. The city has awarded both men $7,000 and $499. Their litigation with the festival's organizers and the security firm continues. 1 person was killed and 6 others were wounded in the shooting. No arrests were ever made. A government watchdog group out of Washington is filing a complaint calling on Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate solar companies in the Sunshine State. The Campaign for Accountability is asking Bondi to review consumer complaints against solar companies engaging in false and misleading ads. The group's director says the companies are targeting seniors who tend to be more vulnerable. The group claims the tactics violate the Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trades Practices Act. Bondi's office has yet to respond. She was kidnapped from Jacksonville at a hospital when she was only 8 hours old. 18 years later, Camilla Mobley finally knows who she really is. The woman who took the 51-year-old Gloria Williams made her first appearance in the court today. Williams is a medical support assistant for the Veterans Administration in South Carolina. She raised Mobley as her daughter. The teenager says she will always think of Williams as her mother.
If you call me Alexis, call me Alexis. If you call me Kamaya, I'm still going to answer. I still feel the same about her. There's nothing different. There's nothing different. I'm processing it, like I said, but I'm a big girl.
Williams was denied bail. She faces charges of kidnapping and interference with custody. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.